Alright, so here we are at turn 12 of our 3-player game. Uh, you know, with a bunch of AIs, Arctica, etc. I doubt you're just jumping here in the middle. Hopefully you're not. Hopefully you've watched the other ones, so you have some context of what's going on here. But regardless, so I'm about to fight this guy. I'm going to wait for the rest of my troops to be able to come over here. Risky battle. I think I have this, so I have a lot of troops. I have a Eldritch Sovereign, so I think I can probably pull this out all right. It predicts loss. I'm not surprised about that. This is, a sort of fight where you need a little bit more nuance in order to be able to succeed, I suspect. Plus, for some reason, I've noticed that where usually troops that are separated from my main stacks or from my ruler tend to do a little bit worse, so I suspect that's also at play here. So I'm going to go ahead and buff this guy. The reason I'm using that to choose to do that with the Cultivate Shadow Affinity, there's a couple of reasons. The first of them is simply because he's injured and I want to restore his hit points. Number two is as a frontliner, he's more likely to take some damage. And number three, he is one of my cultural units. So his the Shadow Incarnate I'm giving him will allow me to do more cold damage against his guys. Not that I expected to be able to do a lot, but it might help. We'll see. All right, so we're not going to do anything else here. No. I will. I'm actually going to use this on myself. I've taken a little bit of damage, and he doesn't have enough abilities right now that I'm going to be doing very much beyond hitting them. So some strengthening will be good. He's a good damage dealer. But yeah. Okay, so that guy has a lot of movement. Okay, I wasn't expect. I should have. This was a little bit sloppy. This is my first thing I'm doing today, so these guys are not quite spread out like they should be. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to drop an AoE. He is going to go up here. He's going to wail on this. He can't kill either of them, so I'll just disrupt this guy's ability to do non-retaliatory stuff. I'll finish off this guy. Let's see. So I do want to protect my fella here, so I'm going to do some mind control actually. And then this guy is going to come over and attack the giant. Like normally I prefer to do that in such a way that my mind control is going to take some damage too. This guy's likely just to kill my injured unit here, my what are they called, Earthbreaker. But being able to lay damage on the primary enemy threat is also very helpful. Okay, yeah, so that round went pretty well. He's likely going to be healing. Okay, yeah, he did even worse than that. But yeah, I wasn't, expecting to come out of this with anything except for a lot of damage, so not a huge surprise here. So the key is I need to kill this thing. So he can finish this off. My defender can move over here in a flank, do a good amount of damage. My archer... Yeah, that 70% is good enough for me to try for the triple attack. Cool, I killed him. Okay, great. The nice thing about these archers, and a unique thing about them, is that they have the ability to do extra damage to large targets. So it's a very valuable tool against creatures like that. So I'm going to focus on him. He's really the most dangerous thing here. Yeah, so there we go. And I should be able to finish off the rest of these without too much of a problem. I may lose another wisp, but they're easy come, easy go, so I'm not really that super concerned about that. Okay, so I will continue to deal with these. So he cannot quite reach anything. He can only reach this guy. So yeah, so I'm going to go here. I'm going to go here. I'll have my cultivator help out against this one. My guardian will finish him off, and then I actually am going to run up and smack this guy in the face, I think. The reason I did that is because the melee attack actually does slightly more damage than the range attack. And since these guys are range attackers, getting in their face isn't as big of a deal. They may both shoot at him, but it's not going to be enough damage to really be meaningful. Yeah, see, and they don't even bother. Oh, except for that, and that's, once again, it's whatever. Okay, so I'll go in here and finish off that one. and then we'll just otherwise move into position to kill this guy. So not ideal. I lost a couple of units, actually 3 units, but two of them are fairly disposable. In fact, I'll replace one of them just after this battle, and the other one, it's tier 1. It's not great, but it's a unit I'm going to actually replace anyway, probably soon actually. Okay, so that's fine. I killed them. And then we're going to move back towards my outpost. I guess he's out of movement. Okay, that's nice. Yeah, that's actually a great pickup for my Eldritch Sovereign. Eventually, I'm more interested in ignoring status resistance than magic damage, but for early game, this is chef kiss. This is like perfect. So that's great. And yeah, I'm going to continue going down this path. I want to bulk up the strength of my early forces by getting a wyvern here, and then some of the other stuff from this side. I'm likely not going to keep this late game, though maybe I will, since I'm actually playing a necromancy focused faction here. But we'll see. Usually I like to focus more on this side of the warlock tree, but I may change my mind later. So we'll see what happens. Okay, so I get another province here. What I would prefer to have here is either a research node or a second, a second quarry. I'm not anywhere near a place where I can get a research node. In fact, he's claimed all the ones over here. And I wouldn't be able to do it until I grew as a city anyway. So I'm going to have to see if I can build one here so I can get this academy at some point. And in fact, because I can't do that anytime in the near future, I am not going to worry about that at the moment. So alternatives. So maybe what I'll actually do in this situation, rather than going my usual route of a quarry or a research post, is I'm going to actually build a farm here. And what I'm going to do with that is that once this is finished, I will immediately build a tavern and deal with my unhappiness issue. And then I can also start building things like a stonemason, and then also bulk up on my gold in production, since I have very, very little of it right now. This is finished. I do want to cast that. Staff's Warding is a great support spell, so I'm going to go for that. I don't have the mana for magical words at the moment, so we'll just leave that be. She will continue to walk up here. Okay, yeah, so we're here then. So this is going to be the foundation of my next city. And then I'm going to have her come back around and reconnect with my Eldritch Sovereign. This one, I still don't have a pact of cooperation with this free city, so I'm going to send this one out and take a look at what's over in this direction. Looks like mountain stuff. This one will continue to look over here. Though I am kind of tempted to look over here because this feels like it's a fairly open area, whereas like this is a lot more constrained. And if I want to find another settlement, it may be that it's a better idea to go in this direction. Though it looks like that this is just it's gloom. Okay, so it looks like we actually might have 2 infestations next to each other, a Crusader host and an Umbral nest. And honestly, I kind of feel like these should fight. I know it doesn't, it won't mechanically work, but like it feels like the 2 of them should not be coexisting next to each other like that. Okay, so just some more nodes over here. Though likely what I'm going to try to do, if I can build up the appropriate forces, is these 3 will be my my first 3 cities, and then my 4th city will be this place right here after I conquer it. But once again, we're playing on, theoretically we're playing on high world threat. And this is a fairly advanced city, so I may not be in a position to conquer it for quite a while, and I may want to build my 4th city before I do that. So we'll see. That's it for this turn. Thank you for watching. I will see you all soon.